small farming town, which is also a great holiday destination.
Sea, sand, and most importantly, sun are high priority on any beach holiday checklist. The Sunshine Coast in the Eastern Cape serves up all three on its 2,500 kilometers of sun-kissed heaven.
The Sunshine Coast is known for its beautiful beaches, and we're a fantastic holiday destination. And it's for people that enjoy the outdoors, enjoy beautiful scenery, especially our game reserves, water sports, and really just escaping the hustle and bustle of the big cities and coming to enjoy a good family holiday in nature's surroundings.
The fabulous thing about it is that it's home to 10 rivers, a number of malaria-free game reserves, and they're all Big Five, which is really fabulous. We reputedly have the best or the most sunshine in the country, so our weather is absolutely outstanding, and we biodiversity rich. It's an area that's very interesting ecologically, it's an area that's very interesting historically, culturally, and of course the scenic beauty is unbelievable, it's very unspoilt.
Convinced the Sunshine Coast was worth seeing, we began our trip up the shoreline from Port Elizabeth. The first stop on the Sunshine Tour was Alexandria. In the center of the town stands this beautiful provincial heritage site, the Dutch Reformed Church, which dates back to 1924. Named after Reverend Alexander Smith in 1856, this is a small dairy farming town. Cows grazing on fresh green pasture is a common sight in these parts, but people visit the area for its ecological offering.
Alexandria is very interesting from an ecological point of view. It has the largest shifting dune fields in the world, and it's actually visible from outer space. There's some beautiful indigenous forests there, the last remaining indigenous forests in the Eastern Cape. Scenically very beautiful. It's known for its chicory and it's known for its dairy farming.
The beauty and tranquility of Alexandria would inspire any artist. Little wonder that the small town is home to internationally acclaimed sculptor Maureen Quinn.
I love doing ballet sculptures. I love watching ballet, and then when I come home from ballet, I do drawings. And this is the result of one of the drawings that I did. And as you can see, it's a pas de deux. And well, from that, I've done the single ones. This is actually Odile from Swan Lake. And she's supposed to be waving her arms like a swan. And they're not cast yet, but they will be cast shortly. And here we have polka, and I like the movement I've got in this one, where she's throwing her arm out and the angle of her head and the balance on the toe. And then we have court jester, who's also got a tremendous balance on this one ankle. I enjoy getting the tensions in these muscles and the vibrant feel of movement in space in my sculptures and expression. And I wish I could dance like that. Wouldn't that be lovely?
Although the dancers are close to her heart, she's best known for her portrait sculptures.
I've just completed and erected a portrait bust of Nelson Mandela for the University of New South Wales in Sydney, Australia. And that was a challenge. It's the third portrait bust I've done of Nelson Mandela, but I think this is possibly my best. And I've just come back from unveiling it in Sydney.
Part of the town falls into the Addo Elephant National Park. The Woody Cape, as it's known, is where keen hikers can enjoy the Sunshine Coast. A walk or ride along the untarred Golden Mile and its breathtaking views will take you right back to nature. One of the most spectacular views on the Golden Mile is the shifting sand dunes. Where ocean meets mountains of sand is something that should be on everyone's bucket list.
Those sand dunes really do look incredible. Definitely something for the bucket list. Now, continuing our journey north, our next stop is Kenton-on-sea. Known for its pristine blue flag beaches, it sparkles like a jewel along this coastline.
Dubbed the place where the sun spends the winter, Kenton-on-sea boasts having the most sunshine hours in the country. Kenton, as it's known to the locals, has among the best beaches in South Africa. But before we got into this famous beach, we stopped at the private family-run Kariga Game Reserve.
What makes it unique is that I think we're one of the few reserves in the country that includes two estuaries that run up right into the reserve. So we've got the coastal estuary aspect of it as well as the reserve, and in the heart of the Eastern Cape. Huge diversity in fauna and flora here. We've got all the animals that you'd expect to see on any game reserve anywhere. Some are pretty unique to the Eastern Cape, but yeah, it is certainly unique with the river, really, both rivers, the Kariga and the Bushman's estuaries make it.
Like most game reserves in the country, Kariga has some incredible accommodation options.
Yeah, it's mostly international guests. We've got 4 different options for accommodation. We've got River Lodge here. We've got our main lodge, and then a Causey Lodge, which is on the top end of the reserve, as well as a villa, which is a private homestead, as it were, that sleeps 14 people. We're building a new lodge, a new luxury lodge further up the river at the moment. We've got about 10,000 hectares here, and altogether we can sleep about 130 people on the reserve. And it's all, of course, fully catered, what you'd expect from a luxury lodge anywhere.
On the less glamorous side of the game reserve business is the reality of rhino poaching.
We're all vulnerable to this kind of thing, and at Kariga we haven't had, we've had our problems as well. Last year in March, on the 2nd of March, we had 3 rhinos poached. They were darted, their horns hacked off most horrifically. The animals were immobilized. We found them the next morning. One of them, the one bull had died, but a bull and a cow had survived. Well, they were still alive. But the one whose face was probably the worst, we didn't think she would survive because of the wounds. I mean, they'd hacked right down into the sinuses. And she, we gave her the name Thandi when all this happened, because we took the stand then. We said, this needs to be publicized. We need to tell people what's happening with poaching. Amazingly, Thandi has survived all that. Against all odds, with incredible support from the community, the international community, veterinary surgeons, even plastic surgeon flew up from Cape Town several occasions and has done procedures on her that have never been tried before. We only hope that it can just get better and better from here. We saw that she was mating with one of the bulls the other day, so by around about Christmas next year, we can tell more about the story, the remarkable story of Thandi.
After hearing the touching and inspirational story of Thandi, we were off to the town of Kenton-on-sea itself, and in need of a great cup of coffee. And voila, we found it.
Well, about 4 years ago, the space became available and I was retired in Kenton, a little bit bored, and decided to open something that tourists and locals could come and enjoy a good cup of coffee. Tourists love our espresso, and to have a showcase for local art. You know, just stuff made in Africa and South Africa. And it's just taken off 4 years ago and we're still here.
Coffee down, now we went in search of some food with a view, and the sandbar was just the place.
The sandbar floats. It was built in about 1990 and it used to cruise up and down this river, but we've got a lot of wind on the river, so we stopped cruising a while back because it's difficult to steer. So it's permanently moored here now. It rises and falls with the tides. It's built on 2 fiberglass pontoons, and it's become quite a well-known spot in this area for the locals and the others. In season, very difficult to get a booking on board here to eat and drink, but it's a rather festive spot.
Bevan Gardner is a river guide who simply adores this river.
The Bushman's River is the second longest tidal river in South Africa. It's a magnificent river. There are not many places in South Africa that you can see indigenous vegetation as we've got here, outside of the game reserves. What you see here is absolutely natural and indigenous. The river itself is tidal for 33 kilometers, second to the Breda River. That's the longest one. And the salt water, as I say, goes for 33 k's. The tide rises and falls 33 k's up the river. And indigenous vegetation, we've got game reserves up the river now, which we never had 15 years ago.
Discover any small scenic town and you will be sure to find an art gallery with some locally inspired art.
The gallery started in 2007, I believe, and we were first situated above the Cilantro restaurant, and then after 2 years we came over to this side where we have now split the gallery to be half display area and half workshop area. 6 artists in this gallery, and then twice a week we have painting lessons here, and then ongoing mosaic workshops.
Another form of art that the little town boasts is the Beads for Africa, where you can pick up some beautiful handcrafted beadwork. Finally, we head for the famous beaches. Kenton is known for having a rugged coastline with hidden beaches. Ask any local where to find these treasures. Shelley Beach is the most popular Kenton beach with its blue flag status. If you get to the beach at low tide, you can enjoy a scuba dive, and at high tide you can enjoy some body surfing on the dumper waves.
Kenton is a well-kept secret. A lot of people don't know about this little jewel. You know, they come along the garden route and they sort of think that it ends in PE, which if they just continue on, they will find this little jewel of a place. People tend to think that it's mainly a place where people come and retire, so sort of elderly people, but more and more young couples are coming down because we do have schools, lovely, very good schools around. And yeah, I just think more and more people will escape the big cities to get away from stress and crime and hopefully find Kenton.